Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's having a happy Father's Day. I'm going to do two songs. One song was a song that I wrote for a good friend of ours and also was a member of the church here. His name was Lonnie Ward. I was talking to him one night and he said, Gordon, could you write a song, something to the effect of knocking on heaven's door? So this was the song that I wrote for Lonnie. In your sleep you meet a stranger, and he says that you're in danger. You better get your feet up on the floor. Put your worries on the shelf and start thinking for yourself, or you'll never be knocking on heaven's front door. No, you'll never be knocking on heaven's front door. You'll never see your friends anymore. When you're old and all alone and you wanna go home, there's one thing for sure: you'll never be knocking on heaven's front door. For a future you are liable if you don't live by the Bible. God loves you if you're rich or if you're poor. And if you can't make the separation and make God your destination, you'll never be knocking on heaven's front door. No, you'll never be knocking on heaven's front door. You'll never see your friends anymore. When you're old and all alone and you want to go home, there's one thing for sure: you'll never be knocking on heaven's front door. Wrote that song for Lonnie Ward. And I guess what's important to everybody is your dad. And my dad was, and I'm going to ask the Lord to really stand beside me, because he was just an incredible person. I've never known, and I was really blessed to have my dad as a dad. My grandpa, I was named after my grandpa. His name was Garland. And back in the 30s, they played on the radio station in Portsmouth, Ohio. And up till the time, my dad was about 6, and my dad was known as the little boy with the $1 million smile with a piece of gum behind his ear. That's how they advertised him on the radio show. And they just lived over the hill from Roy Rogers. And at the time, things were doing pretty good. And in 37, they had a flood in West Virginia, or there at the Ohio River. My grandpa was killed in that flood, and my dad was put in a hospital. He was paralyzed and technically wasn't able to take care of himself. And they were going to put Dad in an orphanage. And at the age of 13, he stepped out of the hospital. He walked 100 miles to Columbus, Ohio, with no food, no money. And he got here and he carried water at the airport. He was a water boy. And he did that till he got a job at the Uniform and Home Company. He met my mom. The house on 2474 Darby Creek Road, he dug that basement with a shovel. They wouldn't give him a loan for the house because he didn't have anybody to sign for him. So he dug it with a shovel, bailed the water out, and we lived in that 2-room house, all 6 of us. My older brother, myself, my 2 twin sisters. And kind of a funny thing. We were a close family, and my brother was just in the 1st grade, and I'll never forget this. Excuse me. He was in the 1st grade, and we're sitting around the supper table one night, and my brother's sitting over here, and I sat here at the end of the table, and my brother said, "Dad?" I said, "What, Ozzie?" He said, "Dad, I'm in love." Couldn't you imagine what he thought? All the rest is sitting around there. Am I? Oh, thank you. That's Chelsea. So just things you would think would happen. And so, of course, Dad, he didn't know how to deal with that, but we got through the best that we could. And Dad had a lot of opportunities, and a lot of people they really didn't know that my dad could play music. And it wasn't until Channel 10 they were needing somebody to do the announcing and to play music and sing some stuff for the big Bear grand openings at the time. And people said, well, you're going to go over that? Well, Ralph, you can't even play guitar. Well, little did they know, Dad was quite a good musician. And it was at that time he had an opportunity to finally go to Nashville, Tennessee. The Bale brothers, they invited him to go down and with a possibility of a record contract. And let me get a drink of water. This is kind of where the song I wrote picks up from here. He was Dad always told a lot of jokes. He was a funny guy. Okay, everybody sort of kind of, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sort of kind of disconnect myself and just sing the song, because I really need to get through the song. It goes like this. I wrote this song back in '97. It was right after my dad passed away. He said goodbye to the Grand Ole Opry, put away those fancy cowboy boots. It was love for me and Mommy chose give his family roots. Somehow I always knew must have broke his heart in two. Where once was something fancy, were a simple pair of shoes. But he sang for me and Mama, all to me was a star. Sing, here's a man in the moon as he strummed that old guitar. The greatest singer in the world, nobody ever knew. Gave it all away for a simple pair of shoes. Because of those shoes, my life was easy as a kid. My daddy's shoes, they're just way to bed. Worked night and day for my mom and me. They never did complain. I was proud to be his boy, proud to have his name. After all I put him through, to God I thank you for the man wore my daddy's shoes. Can't recall a single night when my daddy wasn't home. Every Friday after work, we'd get an ice cream cone. The dark play in the front yard, that two-room house my daddy built. Best times I ever knew, that man in daddy's shoes. He could smile, could make it laugh, love to tell a joke, take his shirt off his back, give him he was broke. Because of those shoes, my life was easy as a kid. My daddy's shoes, they're just way too big. Worked night day for my mom and me, I never did complain. I was proud to be his boy, proud to have his name. After all I put him through, to God I thank you for the man who wore my daddy's shoes. Daddy left us in the spring on a cold Ohio day. I was about to listen, I can still hear Daddy play. I never really told him, but I'm sure he knew how much I loved that man. Wore my daddy's shoes. Because of those shoes, my life was easy as a kid. my daddy's shoes. They're just way too big. Working night and day for my mom and me, I never did complain. I'm proud to be his boy, proud to have his name. After all I put him through, God, I thank you for the man who wore my daddy's shoes. For the man who wore my daddy's shoes. Everybody have a nice Father's Day. Thank you.